Hello, Julie here, and thank you for joining me here on my YouTube channel today. I'm going to make a couple of Christmas cards today. I'm going to be using papers and card toppers from Denise Boddey. I'll put links to everything in the description box. But the thing about these two cards is they both use acetate on the front of the card. Okay, so what I need is a piece of white cardstock, and I'm using this 300 GSM cardstock for my base. And you see it's quite sturdy. So I want it to be 5 1/4. By 5 3/4. Now I have also cut a piece of transparency and the same size. Now I want to score both of these on the 5 3/4 edge at 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 there and 5 1/4 there. Now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to really burnish these down so that they're nice and flattened. Okay, so that's going to give me a 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 inch panel of acetate and a 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 inch cardstock piece. And what I plan on doing is joining those two together like so. So I will go ahead and do that. So I'm going to use my art glitter glue. I'll put the glue on the cardstock. And I will position this acetate on that so that it's perfectly lined up, like so. And I'm going to make sure it's lined up all around on the base and burnish it once again. And then I'm going to use a couple of these clips to hold that in place while that glue dries, just to make sure that it sticks nicely. Make sure it's not going to stick anywhere else. Open that out and wipe any glue off of there. And fold that back down. And put my little clips on, making sure that everything is perfectly in place. I'm going to set that aside to dry. Now I've gone ahead, I've got these Denise Boddey toppers. This is Christmas toppers pack 3, and there's an assortment of, I've actually got 2 packets in here, but I will show you. So that truck came from down there, so we've got that sheet. It's got the utes on it, some tags, some parcels, some leaves, and a nice little floral collection there. This one has got 3 different types of newt on them. They're actually a bit bigger, and they've got flower. Each of them have got flowers in it, and plus a few flowers around. Got another tag and some bow, some baubles, poinsettia, and that's like you get 1 sheet of each of these in a pack, not 2. I've got 2 packs here. This one actually a nice scallopy border, a border of parcels, a deer, and a, well, I'm not sure what that is, maybe a plum pudding. And this one we've got cute bird with poinsettias and flowers, a sort of half wreath, a tag, and some more flowers. And that's it for the kit. So yeah, that's called pack number 3, I think I said, didn't I? Pack 3. Yeah. So pretty good value, I thought, for $6. Still, I bought these last year, so they may not be still $6, but I'll put a link in the description box so you can pop over and check them out if you want to. So I'm just using this one image. She has got a few other packs as well, and I have got some here. I'll just give you a quick look. This one is, I've cut a lot of these out, but this has got a lot of lanterns and florals on this one, and a bird. And that is 3D card topper. That's all it says, 3D card topper. So as I said, I've already cut a heap of these out, so I've only got this 1 sheet left. Yeah, so that's it. Got some little bells, some layering. You can layer all these up, like that goes on there, and then that goes on there, and then that goes on there. You know what I mean. And then we've got the ones that go on here. These bells go on here. These flowers go where? On here. So yeah, they're for layering. So I have already cut, as I said, one of the other sheets from this set out, and I've got them in there ready to go should I want to use them, or when I want to use them. And this one here, let's have a look at this. This is 3D card topper pack 2. I was thinking about using this Christmas tree on this card, but I went for the U instead. So that's got some layering there. This goes on here. These go on here. The parcels go on top of each other. And then we've just got some labels. This has got the wing for the bird, but you don't need me to tell you all that stuff. You can see for yourself what's what. That. Then we've got the two froms, and then some more lanterns with the bows and the poinsettias. So I'm not sure whether Denise has got more of these packs out, you know, different styles now. I haven't been able to check, but as I said, I'll put a link in the description box and you can pop over and check them out, because they make making Christmas cards pretty simple. So my plan is, well, let me finish the front first. Okay, so now I've got a couple of Denise's new paper range. She's got a whole new collection out called Enchantment. And I'm going to use 2 of these. I'm going to actually use the backs to add to my card. So first of all, I'm going to cut a piece of this that is, how big do I want it? What is that? If I cut it through there. Well, let's just do that. Let's cut that through there. How big is it? 1.25 inches. Okay. Then I'm going to cut a piece of this. I want that hanging down below that by about 1/4 inch. So I'm going to do this at 1.5 inches. 1.5. And I want it by 5.25. And we can trim this one off at 5.25. Okay, so I want that to sit on there like that. Okay. So I'm going to ink around this. So those papers were called what? Oh, I've cut the names off now. This one's called Enchanted Forest. And the mauve one is called, what? I'll have to look that up. I think it's called Faerie or something like that. But I will have a look for you. Okay. So I'm going to stick one on top of the other like so. And there we go. It hasn't got the name on it. Okay, that should be set by now. And now I'm going to attach that to the top of that, like so. Do you want to put something around that? Perhaps I could put some white crochet cotton around that, just as a bit of decoration. So pop that around there. That off. And let's put that about halfway. Like that. Just put a little bit of sticky tape there to hold that in place for the moment. And I'm going to just wrap it around there and tie a bow. Okay, not the best looking bow, but what can you do, eh? I'll put a bit of glue under there. Put that in place. Don't do that. Don't get acetate. Don't get glue on your acetate. And then I'm going to add this. I'm trying to make sure I get plenty of glue on here. I want this to stick I want that green edge to the bottom. I want that to line up to the top, like so. We might bring those clips back in because right, now I want to put a piece of pattern paper on the back that is that wide, so that's 1.5 inches, and I'm going to do that with the mauve. So let's get a piece of pattern paper. So this piece needs to be 1.5 inches wide by 5.25 inches long. 1.5 by 5.25. Now, don't ask me why I make my cards 5.25 inches square. I've got no idea where that measurement came from. No idea at all, but that seems to be the size I always make. So, ink around the edge of this, and add this to the inside back now. Just what I didn't want to happen did happen. And this is going to completely cover up the back of that paper that we've added. Now, don't put it over your fold line there, just put it up to the edge of it. It's a bit too... I think I need to trim that down a little fraction. Try again. Butt that up to that edge there. Press that down on there. Close that over and put our clips on. Need a few more clips. I have got these clips in my Etsy, so if you're looking for some, I'll put a link in the description box for you. Okay, so let's let that dry for a minute. Now, these things that I've cut out, the utes, I'm going to attach down here. And I'll put my Merry Christmas up there probably somewhere. And I've cut out two and inked around them because I want to put one there and one inside. And if this is stuck yet. let's stick one of these down here. So as I said, I fussy cut this and then I inked around the whole thing. I would like to have one of these as a reverse image to put on the back, because when you're working with acetate, it's always nice to have the same image on the back so that you can't see any of the glue, and it just doesn't, it makes a neater job of it. Perhaps I won't put one on the front. Perhaps I'll just leave the front clear and you'll be able to see the picture through it. I'm going to put a little bit of glue under here, try and hold that crochet cotton in place. You know what? I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't think I'm going to put a image on the front. I think I'm just going to let it have the image come through like so, and then I'll just put a Merry Christmas on here or something. What's your opinion? Do you think I should do that? Because if I put that over there, what am I really achieving? When you lift it up, you see the back of it with the glue marks. Another one there. No, I think I'm just going to leave it with the image on the inside and just the clear front like so. And I'm going to put a sentiment on here. Okay, so I've got this Merry Christmas with lots of love. I just want the Merry Christmas, so I'm just going to trim that off. And trim it down so that each side is about even. Then I'm going to ink around it with a black ink cube. And I'm just going to stick it on here, about like that. I don't want to stick it on the acetate, of course, because you'll be able to see the glue through the acetate on the inside, so that's why it's going on the outside here on top of the paper section. So there we go. There's our first card for today. Okay, so I've cut a piece of cardstock, the same 300 GSM cardstock, 8 1/4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to score that at 5 1/4. Fold that over and score that. I'm using a Teflon bone folder because it doesn't leave a shiny edge when you score, when you burnish, I mean, like the plastic ones do. I have got a plastic one somewhere. This sort of one, this one. And if you use that, I find the card gets glossy, gets shiny where you've rubbed it. So now what I'm going to do is, I have also got an offcut of acetate from when I created the last one. So I'm going to attach that on here. So I'm going to do that with my art glitter glue. I'm just going to run a bead of glue along there. I want a fair amount of glue. And then I'm going to place that on top of that so that it lines up perfectly down here. And we can see I've got glue where I don't want it again, which is very annoying. So it's important that we make sure we've got the bottoms and the sides lined up, otherwise our card won't sit properly. You know, when we want it to sit on the shelf. Okay, so we've got that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some patterned paper, and I'll go with the mauve again. I'm going to cut a piece that is a 1/2 inch. By 5 1/4. Actually, I might do the same with the green. Do this one 3/4 inch. Three-quarter inch by 5 1/4. I'm just going to cut it the same place as this last one because that was 5 1/4. And I'm going to ink those and do the same thing. I'm going to layer the smaller one on top of the larger one and use them to cover up that join where the acetate sits on top of the card base. Okay, I'm going to need more paper in a minute, so I'm just going to leave my trimmer there. Let's stick these two together. I might stick this one in the middle of that one instead of butted up to the edge. A little bit of an overhang there. Just going to ink that. And I'm going to attach that on here, like so. I want some gold ribbon around that. Should I use this same truck? No, because same thing, I'll have the glue on the back and I don't really want that. But let's have a look. Do I want some gold ribbon? I've got this organza ribbon. Oh, I haven't stuck it down yet. So if I was to put that around that and then just tie, probably just tie a knot, I think. Now let's, I'm going to use some glue for that. Hold that in place across the back. Like so. When you're working with acetate, you don't want to have any glue on your fingers at all. Now I'm also going to run some glue across here so that when I lay my ribbon down, now this is just going to be a knot. Okay. I might just trim those down a little bit. Okay, now this can go on top of that so that it just butts up with there, and that way it's not going to show on the back. Have a look at the back. No, that's fine. Very good. Very good. Now, now I need another 1/2 inch strip. 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. Around that, and I'm going to attach this at the very bottom of the acetate section. This can be a bit tricky because it's a bit hard to see where the actual bottom is, and you'll end up with glue all over the place. So just like that is what we want. So now I'm going to cut about 1/2 inch. Cut that off at 5 1/4. Put this up, and this is going to go on the back of that. Now I'm going to also put another strip of paper through that acetate. So let's stick this one down first.
turn that over, get rid of that glue on there, and I don't know whether I've got that even in camera. Now I'm going to stick this on top of this, like so, and make sure that's lined up, and stick that down. Okay, now I want to put another strip through there, and I'm going to, I don't know whether to do the green or the mauve. What do you reckon? I think I like the mauve. So this one I'm probably going to do 5/8 of an inch. 5/8 of an inch. And I'm going to cut that at 5 1/4. You know the drill by now, eh? 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. Ink the edges. So how is everybody? All is well here. Yes, we've just had a visitor for the weekend, and she's gone now. So I haven't done any crafting yesterday or during the day today, so I'm making up for it tonight. It seems a bit weird, doesn't it, a day without crafting? So let's get that in about the centre and line it up with the edges. And stick this one on the back behind it. So we should be able to, these are cut from the same strip, so we should be able to line them up perfectly. Oh, I don't even know if I'm in camera. And I've probably got my head over it anyway, so sorry about that. So there we go. So now we've got, the front of our card that's got some acetate strips in it. Okay, so I've got this die that cuts 3 different sorts of Christmas trees, and this is the smaller one of the 3. And I've cut that in a gold pearlised card. You can see that there's a piece there I haven't pushed out. There. And I'm going to attach 3 of those across the top there. Beautiful weather here at the moment. So lapping that up. Enjoying my, I'll put the middle one in first. Enjoying my morning walks. Once I get started, I love it, but getting started is a bit of a bugbear for me. I procrastinate and say, oh, will I, won't I? And but once I get going, I quite enjoy it. We live pretty close to the river here in Adelaide, the River Torrens, and I can just walk there in about 2 seconds, and then I just walk along the linear track, they call it, that's just the path that goes along both sides of the river, and it is most enjoyable. Quite often, or well, not quite often, but sometimes I see koala bears, and yeah, so it's always nice. and especially in this weather, it's great. Even in the much warmer weather, it's pretty good because there's so many trees along there. You're just about in the shade 95% of the time. So yeah, it's lovely. And then I've got this little Christmas hugs greeting, and I'm going to put a little fishtail in each end of that. Now, I can't remember whether I did the foiling on this or whether it came like that, but from memory I think it's from a Paper Rose paper pack, and they're black but they're done with the toner, so you can foil them using your laminator. You don't have to have the mink to do it. So I think that's what I've done actually. So I'm just going to ink around the edges of this, and I'm going to attach it in here, on here. Now I could attach it with foam tape or something like that behind it, or a bit of cardboard, but I'm not. I'm just going to go for a non-dimensional card here because I do have to post a few cards, or quite a few cards actually. So having them sitting flat like this, except for that bow knot, does make it much easier to post. Okay, so there's my second card for today. So where's the other one? It's gone astray. So there we go. There's our two cards. So two Christmas cards. This one's got a bit of the red and green on it. This one hasn't got any red and green. Oh, it's got some green. But so this is more of a non-traditional colour card. It's got a slight overhang there. I'm just going to trim that up so I can feel it. Feel it with my finger. Just ink that up now. Yeah, so we've got two acetate fronted cards. They both stand up perfectly well. And yeah, so I will make envelopes for those because I don't have any envelopes. It will take 5 1/4 inch cards, but I just use my envelope punch board thing for that. So yeah, a bit of acetate. I love working with acetate. So yes, alright, well there's my two cards for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.